2.5 billion years ago, the air would have killed you. Not the way smoke kills you or poison gas. Slower, stranger. There was almost no oxygen in it at all, and the things that were alive liked it that way. For more than 1 billion years, life on Earth was tiny, simple, and perfectly happy in a world we couldn't survive in for 30 seconds. Then something started leaking a gas, and that gas nearly ended everything. Picture the ocean back then. Warm, green, crowded with microbes that breathed without oxygen and would corrode and die the instant they touched it. To them, oxygen wasn't air, it was rust, it was fire, a reactive poison that ripped molecules apart. And then one kind of microbe invented something new. Cyanobacteria figured out how to eat sunlight. We call it photosynthesis now, like it's a gentle thing, a science class diagram with a little green leaf. But what they were really doing was running a reaction that spat out oxygen as garbage. A waste product, exhaust. For a while, nothing happened. The new gas got soaked up, by iron dissolved in the seas, by rock, by anything it could react with. You can still see it. There are stripes of rusted iron buried in stone all over the planet, hundreds of meters thick, laid down as the oceans slowly rusted shut. Banded iron, geologists call it. It is, quite literally, the rust of a world holding its breath. But the cyanobacteria kept multiplying, kept exhaling. And eventually the iron ran out. With nothing left to soak it up, the oxygen began to build. In the water first, then for the first time in the history of the planet, in the sky. And for almost everything alive, this was the apocalypse. It has a name. The Great Oxidation Event, a bland, bureaucratic name for what may have been the largest mass extinction Earth has ever seen. Bigger than the one that took the dinosaurs, bigger than anything since. Whole kingdoms of microbes, the rulers of the planet for 1 billion years, simply dissolved in the rising poison. The survivors fled to the mud, the deep sea, the few places the air couldn't reach. Some of their descendants are still hiding there today. And here's the part the name leaves out. The oxygen didn't just poison life, it changed the sky. There had been another gas up there, methane, wrapping the young Earth in a thick, warm blanket. Oxygen tore it apart, the blanket came off, and the planet froze. Not a cold snap. Ice from the poles to the equator, a white frozen rock hanging in space for as long as 300 million years. Snowball Earth. The first great climate catastrophe caused by the smallest things alive, changing the entire atmosphere without the faintest idea they were doing it. Sound familiar? Tiny organisms, multiplying, pumping out a gas as waste, reshaping the planet's chemistry and climate, nearly wiping themselves out in the process. 2.5 billion years before anyone built a smokestack, life had already terraformed its own world by accident, and very nearly paid for it with everything. But life didn't end. It adapted. A few organisms did something almost unthinkable. Instead of dying in the poison, they learned to use it. To take that violent, corrosive gas and turn it into energy. Far more energy than the old way ever gave them. Everything that breathes today, every animal, every tree, you, right now, runs on that ancient trick, on the poison. So take a breath. That lungful of air you just used to stay alive is the same gas that committed the first genocide on Earth. The thing your oldest ancestors fled from, hid from, were nearly erased by. We call it the breath of life. It started as the breath of death. And the only reason you get to sit here and breathe it is that somewhere in a poisoned, freezing ocean, a few survivors made a truce with the thing that was killing them, and turned it into the engine of everything that came after. Every breath you take is that truce, still holding.